Most people spend years thinking about moving abroad because it is a big life change. But what if you could treat your big move abroad as a 12-week project? So instead of looking at an overwhelming project that seems impossible and seems to be long term, let's look at it through the 12-week plan framework that looks a lot more attainable and practical. If you haven't read the 12-week year book, it's a book that I highly recommend. Whether you are a planner by nature or not, it is a great book that allows you to bring down your big vision into concrete focused steps that you can take every day. It also reminds me a little bit of Atomic Habit, which is another productivity book that teaches you how to make big changes in your life by taking small, consistent steps. So similarly here in the 12-week year, it's not about looking at your big vision or your big 12-month goal, but looking at a portion of it, what you're going to be doing well and focused and diligently for the next 90 days so that you will automatically be able to be on track with your yearly goal. So it's not about looking at the goal as 12 months because it gets a little overwhelming. And let's be honest, we tend to set goals for the year early in the year and we only work on those goals towards Q4, right? The key is that you're going to be focused on things that matter, not on abstract things and thoughts, but you will have a specific plan with daily activities or tactics as they are called in the book. Okay, so I wanted to use that framework and apply it to the context of moving abroad, since we talk about moving abroad and starting a business to fund your move abroad on this channel. Okay, so first thing you have to do is think about your 5-year vision. Once you have that, then you go down into your 3-year vision, and then you're looking at, okay, how can I make this happen? You're going to select 1 to 3 goals in order to make it happen. Now, if one of those goals is to move abroad, well, now we can break it down even further, okay? So by breaking down our goal of moving abroad into a 12-week plan, we are going to be able to stay focused, we're going to be able to stay clear, to be accountable, and to really have a way to track our progress. Because when we're looking at a whole year, at some point we get a little lost, we get a little discouraged, and it's a little harder to track our progress, okay? So we're going to be extremely focused on the next 90 days. And by the way, the 90 days don't have to start on January 1st. It can start any Monday of the month, like this Monday, next week, in December, January, March. It doesn't matter. It's not a typical quarter like January to March. It is any Monday, any week of the year. You can start the 12-week clock. And we also want to have very clear deadline for each of the tasks that we have to put in place. I've used some of the templates in the website 101planners.com. I'm going to link that in the description of this video. And these templates would allow you to write down your 5-year vision, your 3-year vision, as well as your goals, okay? And then you are going to be able to break down each steps of the process. So as I walk you through the process, know that you can also download these templates on that website, okay? So like I said, the first thing is your long-term aspiration. What is your big vision 5 years from now? Then you go down into your mid-term goals, so the 3-year goal. And then you're going to look at, okay, well, what do I want to have by the end of next year? So 12 months from now, what is it that I want? What are my big goals? Again, between 1 and 3 goals. For the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on 1 goal. Let's say that your goal is to move abroad, okay? So let's look at this big, bold, abstract goal of moving abroad. Now we want to be able to translate this big goal into a 12-week plan, which is, again, the premise of this book, because it's a lot more actionable when you're looking at small actions, daily actions that you have to take every day in order to reach that big, bold goal, instead of looking at the big goal as a whole and get overwhelmed. So how do we translate the big goal of moving abroad into small actions that you can take for the next 12 weeks? First thing that you have to do is do a brain dump. Take a piece of paper and write down everything that needs to happen for you to move abroad in the next 12 months. That could include being clear on the destination. That could include launching your business and making a specific amount of money every month. That could include convincing your spouse to make that move. That could include finding the school for your kids, a lot of different things. So for now, we're going to dump everything that needs to happen. It doesn't matter if it's 100 things. The point is that out of all these things, some things would matter and some other things will not be a priority right now because they will naturally happen because of the priorities that you're going to tackle first. What are the things that you know are going to be a stretch, but realistically, you know you can do it? You can still do it. It's going to take effort, it's going to take a lot of work, dedication, focus, all of that, discipline. But you know it's still doable. Like you believe in yourself, you know, oh man, I can do this, right? You're going to have accountability, you're going to have support, you can do this. So moving abroad as a whole goal has turned into the 10 tactics that you can implement, that you can focus on for the next 12 weeks. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't have to be 10. The less, the better. If you have 10 things, it can get a little overwhelming. In the templates that I have here, again, from the same website, 101planners.com, they have 10 things. You're listing 10 tactics. I personally feel like it's a lot of things, even to implement within the next 12 weeks. So I would say, think about what are the 5 most important things that need to happen, depending on what stage you're on right now in your move abroad journey. Maybe you already know where you're going to go. Maybe you already know what school your kids are going to go to. And maybe your main problem right now, your main block or obstacle is the money. Maybe it's okay, how am I going to make the money to sustain my lifestyle abroad? And this is where I would personally make this your main goal. So as you do the brain dump, you're going to see that there are some things that are big. Like these could be goals. These could be one of your goals. So for example, being able to launch your business, okay? That can still be a little abstract because launching a business, what does that mean? Does it mean just incorporating your company, creating the LLC? Or does that mean making at least $5,000 every month? Or does that mean telling everybody that you're launching a business? These could be different things that you could have under launching your business. But what does it really mean to you? What is it that you really, really need to do in order to make you move abroad? Let's say that your goal is to make at least $3,000 every month, okay, with your new business. So that's going to be your goal, your main goal, because you know that once you do this, your move abroad is pretty much a guaranteed, okay? That's the main obstacle. Everything else can be figured out, but that's a main goal, all right? So this is what you're going to focus on for the next 12 weeks. Now, looking at the tactics, what needs to happen for you to make these $2,000 every single month, or at least by the end of the 12 weeks? 1, you need to figure out what your offer is. 2, you need to figure out who your audience is. 3, you need to figure out where you're going to promote that offer, okay? There are a lot of different tactics that you need to have in place in order for you to be able to make those $2,000. Another thing that you might need to do, and again, we're doing a brain dump here under that goal of making $2,000 per month. And one other tactics that you need to do, one other thing that you need to do is to be able to create content consistently. Maybe it's one YouTube video every week and posting maybe 2 or 3 times on YouTube on your community tab. Or maybe it's posting 3 times on Instagram, like 2 reels and 1 carousel every week, okay? So for each of these tactics, each of these strategies, I want you to set a date, a due date. Maybe it's something that you're doing weekly, or maybe it's something that you're doing by a specific date. For example, creating and posting 1 YouTube video every single week. This is a weekly thing that you have to do, okay? So under your due date, you're going to write down weekly. But something like getting clear on your offer, finalizing your ideal client, this is something that you can do in just 1 or 2 days, and it has a due date, okay? It's not something that you do on a weekly basis. It's something that you do by, let's say, 3 days from now. And you set the date, you write down the date. Once that's done, you can cross it off and you move on to the next thing. Another thing that you can do, and this is another template included in the 101planners.com website, is now breaking it down and writing it down over the next 12 weeks. So this is where you're going to look at every single week in order of priority what you need to do. So you did a brain dump for all the tactics, all the strategies, all the actions that you have to do in order to make those $2,000 a month, okay? But now, some things are priority, then some things need to happen before others. So what is it that you have to do next week? What is it that you have to do the following week? What is it that you have to do 4 weeks from now? Some things, again, are weekly, so they repeat themselves, but some things might not need to happen yet. Something like pitching to be a guest on somebody's podcast. Maybe you want to be able to have enough content on your own YouTube channel before you pitch to be a guest on somebody else's YouTube channel. So maybe that's something that you're going to do 4 weeks from now, but you need to be able to prioritize based on the due dates that you wrote down next to each task. You need to be able to prioritize what is going to happen when. And last but not least, and again, this is making my planner brain really, really happy, is because you are really going into the details. As you've noticed, we started with a 5-year vision. Then we went into the 3-year vision. Then we look at the year as moving abroad. And now we're not even looking at moving abroad in itself. We're looking at making money in order to move abroad. So you see how you are less and less and less overwhelmed with the whole idea of moving abroad, because now you're only focusing on the things that you have to do every single day in order to make those $2,000. You're not even focusing on the 5-year vision because everything is aligned. If you do what you have to do every single day that you said, those are the priority tactics, these are the priority strategies, the daily tasks that I have to do, naturally you're going to be able to reach your goal of making $2,000 a month, your goal of moving abroad, and leave that 3-year vision and that 5-year vision as well. Okay, so on the daily basis, what it is that you have to do. I told you that you can use this template to write down what you need to do every week for the next 9 days, but now you can look at what you need to do every day for each of these weeks. So what I have on my wall actually is my own 12-week plan. I have it like this. Okay, let me actually put it down here. This is mine. If you want to break it down even more and only look at 1 week at a time, this template is also on the website, is looking at, okay, what do I do? And you can print this like every week. Every week you have a different page. This has Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way till Saturday, so you know exactly what to do each day. I don't really need this one because the way I look at it is that I have one task per day. So this is week 1, week 2, week 3, all the way to week 12. And for each line is a day. So that's Monday, Tuesday, all the way to Sunday right here. But if you don't want to look at the whole 12-week together as a whole, you can just focus on 1 week at a time. Okay? I just look at it at the whole thing. But this little square of 7 days is basically this sheet right here. So you can take all the 7 tasks that you have here and just write them down here on your weekly plan. Now here's my thing. Do not get tempted to write down a lot of things. Like, this is not a to-do list. You don't have to write 30,000 things for each day. I have one thing per day that I need to do. Like today, for example, is finalizing my content calendar. Once I finish it, I can, if I want to, I can go into what I have to do on Friday, which is batching 2 or 3 YouTube videos. I'm actually doing that. I'm recording this video, okay? So you can do more if you want to, but only if you finish the task that you have for that day, okay? So for me, I only put one task per day because I'm good with it. The breakdown that I have for my 12 weeks is going to allow me to reach my 12-week goal. Okay. Now, for you, maybe you're going to need 1 or maybe you're going to need 2 tasks per day. But I wouldn't recommend to have a long list of tasks every day. Again, if you finish one and you feel like, ooh, I have time, I can do more, take a break and then do some more if you want to do that. But don't feel the pressure to do a lot more than you can handle. Okay. Because again, this is a little bit of a sprint. It's focused. You have to be disciplined. You have to be able to stay the course for the next 12 weeks. Again, the goal is not to look at your goal as an abstract, but concrete actions that you need to take every single day, because these are aligned with your goal and they are aligned with your long-term vision. Okay? So at the end of the day, at the end of the week, actually, what you have to do is look at what you've done every day this week. And now you can keep score of what you've done. Did you do what you were supposed to do on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, all the way till Sunday? And if you want to work on the weekends, for example, for me, I didn't do anything. I didn't write anything for Saturdays and Sundays. That's just a preference. And so keep score. If you have at least 85% completion, then you are on track. Even if you have 50%, you're on track because you're doing better than zero, okay? So 85% and up, according to the authors of the book, this is a very, very good sign that you are going to reach your goal. And at the end of the day, the key here is discipline. You really have to be focused and have that sense of urgency because, like I said, it's 12 weeks, right? So it's focused, it's discipline, and you have to be locked in with the daily things that you're doing. Some of them are daily, some of them are weekly, some of them are just but one time, like by this date I need to finish this, and then that's it. I don't touch it anymore. But you have to stay focused. Some people do well by themselves and some people need accountability. The fact that I'm on YouTube and telling you this is my plan, well, that's my way of sharing accountability, right? And for you, if you can do that as well, you don't have to go on YouTube to do it. But if you can have someone that you're sharing your goal with who can ask you at the end of the week, oh, how did it go? How did you do this week? What is your score for this week? That will allow you to be more motivated and to stay on track with the process of your 12-week year, okay? If you want to have a group accountability, then I want to invite you to join us inside of the Freedom Business Accelerator membership. This is a monthly membership with other women who are growing their online businesses. So if that's something that you're interested in, you want more support with your online business, then check out the link in the description of this video where you can find more details about how you can join us inside the membership and get more support and accountability as you put together and implement your own 12-week year, okay? If you have any questions about the whole process, I mean, obviously, I'm really excited about it because I love to plan stuff. But if you have any questions about how to do it and how it could apply to your own goals, then let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to come back and answer your questions. And again, you want to do it together? Join us inside of the membership. Till next time, bye.